Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of ChanmanV's Pro Corner, where pro gamers come and show us how it's done. Today is the beginning of Terran Week, and I know you guys have been dying for this, you Terran fans out there. But, I listened to you, and I put together a Terran Week just for you guys. So tonight, we had the pleasure of having Complexity's QXC on Pro Corner for the first time, so that'll be great, as well as Spades, who's been a friend of the show for quite some time now, and they're both going to be walking us through some TvP strategies, and it's going to be a dual coaching format tonight. So we'll have each of them be playing live games against a Protoss playing partner, and just really talking through their strategies and kind of verbalizing their logic and that kind of thing, while the other kind of comments, critiques, kind of asks questions about their strategy, and hopefully kind of have a back and forth kind of collaboration session. So I'm excited to get this started and hopefully learn some cool Terran tips here. Let me pull them on here so maybe we can get kind of find out what they've been doing, kind of chat with them a little bit, and we'll get this party started. Hey guys. Hey, we are on the show, and I was just telling them how we're excited to finally have a Terran show, because we haven't had one in quite some time, and particularly having you on, Kevin QXC, because I know it's your first time being on, and Brian or Spades, of course. He's being such a good friend of the show, and on you've been on previous times. It's always great to have you on. But wanted to start the show by kind of finding out what you guys have been up to, and maybe what you have coming up, or what's the next tournament you're going to be playing. Why don't you go first, QXC?
Sure. So I'm still in school. I'm a senior in college at Harvey Mudd, computer science major. Awesome. I'll be graduating in just about 2 months. I'm not going to be attending MLG, unfortunately, but I will be at IPL4.
Awesome. Yeah, IPL4 is, what's the date on it? I forget.
It's like
April 6th.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, so they're really close to each other. Cool. How about you, Spades?
I haven't been up to too much, just playing a lot of ladder and practicing hard. I am going to be at MLG as well as IPL, and hopefully I'll have a good showing. Been working pretty hard.
So what do you guys think about IPL being in Vegas?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been to Vegas.
Oh man.
Just the fact that they're putting on a big StarCraft event there seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, you're a Vegas version. Oh, it's going to be awesome for you then. Vegas is a good time. But okay. Well, I was explaining to the viewers that we're going to be doing TvP tonight, and we're going to be doing a dual coaching where each of you guys will take turns playing while the other one kind of looks over their shoulder. And I've lined up a few Protoss playing partners, and again, viewers, I understand these guys will be distracted when they play, and I mean these guys, have that kind of understanding too. So, yes, I know that, guys. All right, but the whole point is, to really get a little bit inside the heads of these players while when they're playing a game and their strategies. So that's really the point of the show. So, wanted to definitely explain that first, because a lot of times I know people in the chat that tune in for the first time don't really understand that. So don't be surprised if I reiterate this a little bit during the show. But why don't we get started? Why don't we get into the game? And what's a good map you think to really go over TvP?
Any map without a big choke. Something like Shakuras, Tal'Darim.
Okay.
Shattered, Entombed. Basically just not Metalopolis or Dual Site.
Okay, that's better. That sums it up. Let's do Blistering Sands. Oh my god, somebody just said Blistering Sands. Yeah, exactly, right. Let's do Entombed. Since nobody ever wants to do Entombed in any of the other or any of the Zurich matchups. Let's get some Entombed Valley in here. And what we'll do is we'll lead off by having QXC play, and we'll have Spades kind of sit and comment with me, but he'll be doing obviously the majority of the commenting. QXC, if you want to join the ChanmanV channel in Battle.net, I can add you. And Caliber's nice enough to be playing some, will be our Protoss playing partner tonight, at least for some of the time.
What's the channel?
ChanmanV. V is
Chanman.
yeah, Chanman. That's me.
Right. Yeah. All right, I'm in.
All right, cool.
Put me in, coach.
Here we go. You're in.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
So we're just gonna all in him over and over, right?
Hey, that's the strategy we're going over. That's the strategy we're going over, right? All right, here we go. Let me start it up.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so I guess to start off, why don't we, just kind of get your general thoughts on, the meta game and the TvP matchup right now.
TvP is a bad matchup, and you should just all in.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the deal with TvP. With very few exception, most people are staying with Bio plus Medivacs plus Vikings plus Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And that is your endgame unit composition. And the only thing that really changes is you're going to be adding more Ghosts. You're going to have upgrades. You're going to have +3 ship weapons. You're going to have +3/+3 for your Bio. Building armor to make your P-ups pretty resilient. The range upgrade makes it harder for units to kind of sit behind your mineral line.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, like you're not getting anything else. And so basically, what that looks like is you want to match the Protoss supply for supply. So Colossus takes 6 supply, Vikings take 2. For every Colossus you see, you make at least 3 Vikings. Sometimes you make like 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
And then for every High Templar, you want a Ghost. For every Archon, you want 2 Ghosts. And sometimes that number varies a little bit, but that's kind of the general thing. And then Marauders are only cost efficient against... Marauders are only better than Marines against Colossus and Stalkers. Stalkers suck shit though, so don't worry about that. You can just kill those with SCVs if you want.
Right.
And you should be using your Vikings to stop the Colossus. So
right.
pretty much, we want to limit the number of Marauders we have. It's going to be something like 25% Marauders, 75% Marines. So that's like 1 Marine for every 3 Marauders, or 1 Marine for every 2 Marauders.
Okay.
It's kind of ideal late game unit composition. It's the only way to kill Zealot Archon. And what that means then is your army is much more fragile to Storm, and it's much more fragile to High Templar. So if you have bad micro, you just lose the game. Which is why just about every person I've ever coached in the last month has problems with TvP.
Yeah, I can see that.
You either go Marauders and you lose the big battle, or you go Marines and you lose the big battle. So that's kind of the issue. And then basically when the battle starts, you want to be getting your EMPs off. EMP is like free damage, basically. So you want to be getting those off before the battle starts, if possible. And then during the battle itself, the most important thing is High Templar Ghost management. So you want to make sure that you're not allowing your opponent to get any storms off. That is the fastest way to lose, basically, is to get your army storms. So EMP with 2 to 3 Ghosts before the battle starts. During the battle itself, you should have your positioning and your concave done before the battle starts, and then during the battle itself, you should be focusing almost entirely on minimizing damage from storms.
Okay.
And then that's kind of the basic idea. Big timing windows that you have, if Protoss doesn't have Colossus or Archons or Storm, once you get about 4 to 6 Medivacs, they can't really kill your army efficiently. So you're going to see me do basically a timing attack right when my first 2 Medivacs, not like a timing attack, but I'm going to go pressure and try and do some damage before the Colossus gets out. And then from there, I'm just going to try and keep a close eye on what he's doing so that I can match my army composition to his. So if I see him make 1 Colossus, I don't just assume he's going to make Colossus for the next 6 minutes. I keep checking in and making sure that he keeps making Colossus. Better Protoss players like Genius, they'll make 1 or 2 Colossus, they won't even get range. And then from there, they'll switch into just like a Zealot High Templar mix. And if you overproduce on Vikings, you'll just lose the game. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
Right, okay, I see.
So the basic idea is Protoss can do whatever they want, and if you don't respond correctly, you lose. On the flip side, you don't really have anything like that.
Right, I see. Okay.
So your whole army is based around what are they making.
So during all this, I mean, is there... Let me let you deal with this first. Under pressure. So during all this, I mean, are you thinking of, you know, harassing with some drops during all this, while, you know, when he pushes out kind of thing, or is it just going to be straight up hammer, you know?
Because Protoss is so broken. Hold on. So because Protoss is so broken in the late game, we try and abuse them with drops and pressure as much as possible. So that'll be like drop the third while the army pressures the front. Generally, I'll be always trying to do at least one drop.
Right.
And that's just to push his army out of position, if possible.
Yeah, I can't imagine a QXC game without drops. That just went to sit there.
He's just giving vision so that the stalkers could attack.
Oh, I see. Feel free to chime in, Spades. Whenever you want.
Well, I don't want to start that like 400-word run-on sentence. I don't know. Like, I kind of disagree. Like with how most people play TvP. I feel like everyone's kind of stuck playing how we played a few months ago, and no one wants to try anything new. I actually play the matchup like completely different than probably anyone right now. I actually use Thors in my army, but it's you know, it's mostly bio, but I add in a few Thors because it breaks force fields, tanks zealots, and I've been having a lot of success. I actually think TvP is quite balanced late game if you play it correctly. Yeah, I mean it's kind of apples and oranges how I play compared to how most people play, so I guess I'll just have to go over a little bit more when I'm doing it.
Yeah, it'll be good contrast, I guess, with two of you guys. Okay, so do you usually push out before you go for the third here, or are you gonna go for the third before?
I'm gonna push and kind of start the third at the same time.
Cool.
Additional supply depots required.
From an upgrade standpoint, do you feel like you have to be ahead of the Protoss, or, you know, as long as you're keeping even, it's
You're fine if you're even.
Okay.
And one thing that I want to note, this is kind of in regards to what Spade was saying, is everything I was saying, like the way I was explaining that, that's the most popular way to play TvP. I don't play that way either. My endgame composition is battle cruisers.
Oh gosh, well, okay.
So,
craziness.
But I'm not going to try and explain that.
Yeah. No, that's
why it works and the things behind it while I'm playing. I'm just explaining basically how people generally understand the matchup and how you see it most often.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good for the first, you know, definitely the first game, starting with the basics. Okay, force field. Kind of do whatever damage you can do here and then run home, kind of thing.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go home, but.
Oh, okay. But yeah, not go home, but.
Nice look.
Additional supply depot.
Nice.
So the point here, is I saw he only had like 2 or 3 sentries, and once he runs out of force fields, it's going to be really hard for him to deflect this. And it also means if he wants to do some kind of attack, it's going to be much weaker. You can see force fields are all gone now, so I can kite him.
Nice. Look at that control. Nice control.
And look in the back of his base.
Nice. Got to run all the way back into space, obviously, because the warping will stop that.
Yeah, see, not enough people do this. Like, it's not just attack the front and then drop the back. Like, QXC, since he kept poking up the ramp over and over again, he was basically frustrating Caliber to the point where he kind of gave in and chased those units a little farther than he probably should have, so that's why his drop was able to do so much damage.
kind of want to. Okay, let me ask you something about
I'll just check with my medevacs to see what else he's got going on the map.
this. So Medivacs, yeah, that's cool. So like, explain to me weighing. I mean, you know, you definitely did like some extra damage towards the end of that. You know, with the drop there, the units. But I know some people just like to pick him up and just, you know, like leave him again for another attack, like for your next push.
Oh yeah, I mean there were like 2 Marauders and a Marine that I could have easily picked up. It was just a mistake, I was doing too much.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was cool. Okay. That medevac got some good scouting though. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Let's have a blast. SCV ready. This better be good. SCV ready.
Add-on complete.
How common is scouting with a medevac? I don't think I see that super often.
Add-on
That's
complete.
cool. That's pretty cool. Alright, here we go.
We could use some help here.
Okay, so taking that third. Interesting.
Go time.
It'll be easier to hold than the other one.
Alright.
SCV ready.
Nice.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Upgrade complete.
Okay, so this next phase of the game is
Mineral field depleted.
Armed and ready.
so it's still no Ghost Academy. Oh, okay, there's a Ghost Academy. There it is. Okay, yeah. So
Additional supply depots required.
you've got plenty of medevacs at this point. It's going to be definitely.
Yeah, I'm not
gonna-
going to make any more medevacs.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend any more gas on that.
So right now you kind of have to scout to see what it like, whether it's Templar heavy or Colossi heavy. Is that correct?
Ish, except the Double Forge plus the Templar Archives plus the Immortals. I don't really think he has gas to go Colossus because he's still only on 1 base, or
Okay.
2 bases.
Ghost reporting.
Oh, there's a couple of the Templars. Got a good look at that.
Piece of me, boy.
So you're pretty much waiting for Max at this point?
Upgrade complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also no reason for me to attack him right now because he doesn't have a third, so I'm getting more ahead economically, and I also don't have the ghost that I need to deal with the High Templars.
I see.
Mineral
One thing to
field
note is that
depleted.
even though I don't have any Vikings, I'm still upgrading plus ship weapons, so that just anticipating a possible Colossus switch later on.
Right, and that's always smart to to stay a step ahead. Like,
Ghost reporting.
Unless
you
he
know
has
what your
this.
eventual strategy will be, so you might as well keep the
Mineral field
infrastructure
add-on.
This
Yeah,
better
in
be
place.
good. Use some
No,
help
I
here.
actually
Ghost reporting.
And I'm sure you probably do this regularly, but you always add the second starport when you get near max, just in case you have a big Colossus switch.
Oh, okay,
It's a good idea.
cool.
I forget to do it a lot.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Add-on.
Go, go, go.
I think I have Clove. Yeah.
Who wants some?
So that's all looking pretty good.
Gangway. Coming through. Ghost reporting.
So what's the magic gas number for Terran? Is it just 6? Is it 6 gases? Because I know like with like Zerg, for instance, you know, 7 and 8 pretty much gives you
Mineral field.
this kind of ability to switch tech super fast, and
And the thing is, you're not switching techs.
Add-on
Yeah, that's
There's nothing to
complete.
switch to.
that's true in this matchup. Okay, so here's that kind of dealing with High Templars before the battle.
Right.
Nice. Nice too. I mean, it allows you not to get too, like, not to have to deal with too many actions, I guess, whenever the craziness
Mineral
starts.
field depleted.
Yeah. Well, too, he's had Templar tech for a while, so chances are you picking off Templar their full energy, so that's always nice.
Yeah, very valuable ones. That's it. Nice pick off there, that observer. Always fun. So what are you thinking right now? Like,
Well, I've got him stuck on 3 bases. I think I should check that other base again, but pretty much I'm just looking for a good angle to attack him.
Upgrade complete.
I'm also taking my own 4th base, which is good. This is actually pretty common behavior from Protoss. A lot of them have this mentality that as long as they never attack, they can't actually
Upgrade
lose,
complete.
which works against most people. But you just have to kill them anyway.
Yeah, so right now it's just really trying to bait them into a good,
Complete.
I mean, a bad position, right?
Yeah,
And,
I mean, he's pretty hunkered down, so it's going to be difficult for me to make headway here.
Yeah, because I mean, right now the Protoss has everything completely spread out. Like, there's no way you're gonna EMP more than one Templar. So you basically want to have him commit his army like he's doing right now before you attack.
There you go.
Yeah, QXC should win this fight pretty easily.
He caught quite a bit more than him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is under attack.
Yep, now your supply is quite a bit ahead. Nice. Hey, GG. So, what do you think is the, I guess the key point to take from that particular game? I mean, was the first attack basically, with that first attack caused, enough damage that there was just there's really no coming back as long as you macroed, properly, or
I mean, I did good damage there. The main thing was that the game was going according to the tempo that I dictated.
Mm-hmm.
There was never, besides like that little poke at the very beginning, there wasn't really a point in the game where he was controlling what I was doing. And since I was moving back and forth, as long as I don't make a big mistake, I should end up winning.
I see.
Just because I'm controlling the pace.
Yeah, and
Right.
a good thing that QXC did that game was he got his advantage and he just kept it and waited till he had, his perfect 200 army. A lot of Terrans would have thought, like, I did a lot of damage, so I'm going to try to end the game around the 150 food or so. But there's like a weird point in the game where once Protoss has Storm and 2/2 and charge lots, that really anything can happen, so there's no reason to risk throwing your army away just because you have one bad engagement.
Right. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's really easy to lose. If Protoss goes Colossus, you don't have Vikings, you lose the game. Protoss goes Templar, you don't have Ghosts, you lose the game. So do some damage, get the units that I need, and then just work the position till you get your basically you're always trying. The point there was I wasn't just moving back and forth, I was also sniping High Templar. And just trying to make his position a little bit weaker so that when the battle finally came, instead of 10 High Templar, it was only 5.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they weren't spread out the way that he wanted to, so it wasn't. I think I soaked 2 or 3 storms but I mean, it could have been much worse.
Right. Yeah, it's always a good point. I mean, I know a lot of people, it's like the instant they hit 200, they just feel like they have to just rush in there and, just go, guns a-blazing type of thing, even though it's you could be caught in a choke or whatnot, right? So it's always good to be as patient as possible, and that's cool. Okay,
Yeah,
so
well,
we're going to run this again. Just this time we're going to have you, Spades, play, and QXC obviously take the looking over the shoulder role.
Yeah, well, I just want to say one more thing.
Okay.
What QXC did last game was really, I guess, impressive that most people don't do is he kept the pressure on throughout almost the whole game, but without ever committing anything. He just kept dancing back and forth, so he's putting Caliber in a really nervous position the whole game. So I mean, you have to do little things like that just to kind of keep your edge, because Caliber couldn't harass him. You didn't see any Warp Prism going on because he was just always constantly worrying about QXC just right outside his vision.
I see. So just kind of showing your units, I guess, is enough sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing that's important is the only eyes Protoss has really are observers. So as long as I control the watchtower and I scan periodically to check for observers, he's got no way of really knowing what I'm doing or where I'm at least not in a passive way. He's got to constantly be working on that. And so you're kind of, like you said, you're putting stress on the Protoss, forcing them to react, making it harder for them to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
SCV ready.
Okay, so you were explaining that I guess your strategy or your style is a little bit different. than the norm, or the current normal metagame right now. I guess, how soon does that start?
It starts pretty much immediately. Like I, for one, always take an early gas. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do play, somewhat standard, just one racks expand builds like you saw last game. But I do like to switch it up a little bit. I've been experimenting a lot with really aggressive openings like Marine Hellion drops. I'm also like leading into Cloak Banshee almost every single game. Now, the thing about Cloak Banshee is like a lot of people think like, oh, it puts your expansion behind and puts you behind in the game. But I mean, a lot of times I'll force 3-4 observers. I'll kill some probes. Sometimes I'll end the game immediately. But also the thing is, I can always just sit outside his base and just constantly annoy him and keep him thinking about it the whole game. So it really doesn't put you too far behind. But from there, I can either transition to some kind of 1-1-1 all in, or I can just do a standard expansion, then lead up into what I like to do, like 3 or 4 Thors and max out, and then just kind of roll them. I don't know if it's necessarily like the best way to play against Protoss right now, or they just don't know how to react to it properly yet. But I've been having a lot of success with it. So.
Are they making Immortals?
Yeah, I mean, even if they make Immortals, I tend to go Marine heavy and Ghost heavy when I make this unit composition, because basically I just sit back and harass him until I have pretty much an unkillable composition. Like I'll have 6-7 medevacs, same amount of Vikings, 3-4 Thors, and then like 10 Ghosts and a bunch of Marine Marauders, and it just kind of rolls over any composition really.
TVs are under attack.
You get ups for the Thors?
Yeah, I generally get armor upgrades. But I mean, even with no upgrades, I've seen that it still works, but obviously having upgrades is better than not.
Right.
So here, like I see he's going a cannon expand or something. So
That's kind of weird, right?
I'm gonna open with a Hellion drop because I think it'll do a little better. Generally, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna drop 8 Marines in his base and then follow up with Hellions running into his natural.
Add-on
Okay.
complete.
And from there, I'll transition to Cloak Banshees and expand.
Additional supply depots required.
And apparently, I'm supply blocked because I'm really bad. And I mean, the nice thing about this build is that if like you do run into some kind of Void Ray all in, I can start making Vikings. Any kind of like 4-gate, I could just start making tanks. Cloak Banshee kills a lot of robotics. I mean, builds without a robotics. So I don't know. I feel like I win almost all my TVPs unless I get all in somehow. So I kind of picked a build that I guess counters most all-ins.
Like a kind of safe build.
Yeah.
SCV ready.
Safe but different.
Indeed.
Okay, so here we go. So we got the Marines and the Hellions ready for this kind of dual-pronged attack here.
Ready to raise some hell.
This map's interesting because you can actually just bypass the watchtower with these positions, which is always nice.
So when you're actually doing, like, executing this, which of the units are your primary focus?
The Hellions. The Marines at this point in the game are extremely strong with a medevac. So it's really just I'm trying to kill as many probes as possible.
Okay. You're suspecting there's no probes to be seen in the main.
I think he built that cannon.
Oh
Oh god.
boy, line them up!
See ya. So,
Let's see how many you get here. Oh, he's not killing that Hellion. Oh my god, there we go.
I find his build extremely questionable.
What?
Yeah.
Killed 21 workers?
Like,
But also, it's like I have my Marines in his main, and he really can't deal with these too well.
I mean, not because he built a cannon.
Yeah, that's true.
SCV ready.
But,
Don't worry, +1 weapons is about to finish for him.
Jeez.
Good thing you got the forge at the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, but I mean, I killed so many probes. I killed Sentry. Generally, they won't have a cannon, and you'll kill more probes than that if you're lucky. But I mean, right now I can pretty much do anything, and there's almost no way I can lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the lead you have right now.
Yeah, I'm probably almost double his supply.
Complete.
Engine screaming.
And I have my Cloak Banshee coming in.
Oh man, that's just cruel. He's got that cannon though.
That's
I'm
true.
so excited.
But whenever I do this build and I do any sort of damage, I immediately just take a 4th command center because there's really absolutely nothing he can do to me to stop it. So I just kind of prepared to the fact that I mean, it might be going to late game. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, this is always kind of an interesting point to discuss. When you get a lead like this, you know, do you pretty much stay focused on, you know, kind of getting to, you know, your max army, you know, with your obviously your economy in place, or, you know, is there some type of timing that you think is more optimal?
You could probably pull SCVs and just kill them.
Yeah.
With just
probably
the
could.
SCVs.
But yeah, I mean, like, he's obviously not mining right now. Unfortunately, my Banshee's gonna run out of energy, but I have another one coming in.
Add-on complete.
I'm probably just gonna kill his stalkers and then follow up with like a little push.
He's got a cannon though.
That's true. He's got insane DPS. And like, he has so many probes on here that I assume he's not mining. Oh, observer.
Oh.
Um, so I'm just gonna get like one door, then just go kill him.
I mean, the reason I ask it is obviously, you know, every engagement he does win, he, you know, kind of creeps in the game just slowly, right? So that's kind of why I wasn't, you know, kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on what the, you know, most optimal way of winning is.
Yeah, I mean, for time concerns, like, I probably could just pull, but I mean, for the sake of not losing, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would never, I mean, honestly, guys, would you ever pull and do that?
In this situation?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
No,
I was gonna say.
Upgrade complete.
But if for some reason, like, I was at some kind of disadvantage, like he DT'd me or something like that, maybe I'd consider doing it if I had a Raven out, or I don't know. It's really situational.
I see.
So, yeah, I felt like you had a lot of gas, and you still took those 2 geysers at your natural anyway.
Yeah, well, like, I forgot to, like, upgrade and get my combat shields and stim, and I don't know, it's just not really paying too good attention while playing. But I generally, like, I need those gas probably sooner than I took them. I took the expansion later than I should have as well. But generally I go into double upgrades while upgrading my Thors as well, but...
Boy, that's a lot of gas.
Yeah, that's seriously a lot of gas, especially.
Yeah, well, I mean, my Banshees give me like that early map control, so I actually usually take my 3rd pretty much immediately. So I actually would have like 6 gases by now. I generally do this build on maps like Entombed, Antigua, where you can kind of just quickly take your 3rd and only have to defend like one position.
Okay, so there's that door, and that door is just you know, it's just meant for force field stomping, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
And if he does go Zealot heavy, I just let my Thor to the front, and then since I'll usually have a higher Marine count, like, I'll actually probably add 3 more barracks shortly, as soon as I get like the 3rd running, and then I'll make sure I have, you know, 2 more reactors and then a tech lab.
I see.
Mineral field.
Ready for dust off.
You ever do Thor drops?
Sick Thor drops.
Additional supply depots required.
I've seen a few.
You're not man
Additional
enough to
supply
Thor drops?
depots required.
I'm scared.
I am a little scared, I'm not gonna lie.
Complete.
What was it like back in, like, I guess, not beta, but early release, when people would drop like 3 Thors and just like shoot down a Nexus or something like that?
Back when those Thor shots were like 100 per shot or something. Something crazy like that. No.
It used to be 45.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So it's 30, but they attack slower, so it's...
Oh, did they?
The DPS stayed the same.
Well, couldn't they use like their shot cannon on buildings before?
Yeah,
or
that's
something?
what it was.
You can still use it on buildings.
Oh.
It's just
Oh,
not-
you can?
Yeah, but
Huh.
the DPS on the strike cannon is only slightly higher than a Thor without any upgrades. And I think by the
Okay.
Oh,
time you
really?
get to +2 or +3 weapons, you're actually losing DPS by using it.
Oh, wow.
I
Upgrade
see.
complete.
Not to mention the fact that it's big and clunky and stupid and costs 150 mana. And it's possibly the worst upgrade in the entire game.
Do you remember when there was a time when when people would use that Thor build and, you know, basically cannon the immortal, or the strike cannon the immortals?
Yeah,
And when
I mean
you-
that was like the brief period of time when strike cannon didn't cost mana.
Oh,
and
right.
Thorzane beat MC in the TSL.
You're right.
And then
Oh,
they,
yeah, so-
they applied the Thorzane
Sense.
patch and basically removed Thors from
Upgrade
TvP.
complete.
Right.
Mineral field depleted.
Those are the good days. Okay, here we
I've
go.
actually been trying to do pure like Thor mech, and it's really hard to do. It's like this, but instead of 3 Thors, I make like 12 Thors, and then the rest of my army is Hellions.
God, there's okay. That's enough
You didn't-
DPS, though. I feel like that's so little DPS.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It never works.
All right, GG.
It was so exciting.
Well, I think we know where the the pivotal point in that game was.
The climactic end battle.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Why don't we try a different map now? Viewers, if you guys are just tuning in, we're having QXC and Spades walk us through some TvP strategies in a dual coaching format where they take turns playing live games while the other comments and critiques. If you kind of like what you're seeing, be sure to press the follow button. See, oh, Caliber's saying he might be. Well, we might need somebody else now. Let's see.
Spades, I'll take you on.
Alright.
My
It's-
Protoss is pretty good.
I'm
I'm really good at turtling and not doing anything.
Yeah, I used to practice with Inca a lot, and like his style is literally just take 3 bases and just sit there with Storm forever, like never move.
Never move out.
All right, we'll have. Let's see if we can. We'll have Caliber play a couple more. I'll try to get somebody else after this. I think Axlab was going to pop on a little bit after he's done coaching it in like 15 minutes. But okay, so what's another map we should try? That's good. You want to do Tal'Darim? Tal'Darim, I think that was one of the maps that you mentioned before.
Works.
That's fine.
Okay.
Tal'Darim's a tricky map. The early game is kind of iffy.
All right.
It's
like iffy for all ins.
Yeah, I mean, it has a fairly wide choke. Blinkstalkers are really good. I mean, if they do some kind of 4-gate and like somehow sneak a stalker into your natural with a pylon behind, there's just a lot of little weird things Protoss can do in the early game that makes me kind of nervous.
Right. Okay. Okay, now we got some guys coming on wanting to play. Alright, so QXC is going to be playing this game, guys. We'll have Caliber play 1 or 2 more games here. Alright, let's get this started. Okay, so for this game, are you going to kind of do this kind of similar to your last game, or are you going to show us something different?
I go Marauder expand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Whenever I do play like one kind of 1 Rax expand, I generally take both my gas after my first barracks on this map, because it allows you to get some early Marauders out, or even a quicker stim.
I don't like getting 4-gated on this map. I don't like stalker pressure. And I sure as hell don't like Nexus first. So I build a tech lab and I make Marauders. And then Protoss bends over and takes it.
So talk to me about this map, compared to, compared to a smaller map like Shattered. I mean,
It's
like,
really good for turtling and being passive.
okay.
Like there's not a whole lot of points of entry into the main.
Mhm.
So defending against, basically once you take your third, you can have cannons, like in my base, it'd be cannons above the third, like the north side, and that'll pretty much cover your main and your third from that angle. And kind of the same thing with the fourth. You might not be able to cover medevacs coming in that back way, so this is the base just below my main.
Mhm.
you might not be able to cover the medevacs, but you can usually see them. And then beyond that, there's not really any other points of entry into the main. So dropping once they get on like 3-4 bases becomes really difficult. But you do have some nice play below the ramp. You can pressure, kill the gas geyser. Below the cliff at the natural. Beyond that, this is a really common map for Protoss. They'll just send a probe somewhere. They'll build pylons all over the entire map, which makes your life miserable because they'll be warping and stuff, harassing your bases. And then this is a really hard map to prevent Protoss from taking extra bases, because basically once they have 3-4 base economy, if a probe gets to an expansion, they can throw up like 3 pylons, a bunch of cannons, and the Nexus, and it's just hard to dislodge that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it becomes really hard to shut down expansions in the late game because they do have, 4 or 5 cannons at bases and like a Templar. So really, to deal with these bases, you actually have to move out and engage him most of the time. So it's pretty difficult. And I mean, it is a really large map, so anytime your army gets out of position and the Protoss decides to warp in, 10 zealots and run them into your 3rd or your 4th, it's just always going to give you a headache.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, on this map, I PF everything beyond the first 3 bases.
Okay, that's
Additional supply depots.
good to
required.
note.
SCV ready.
No sign of a cannon this time.
I think he's learned his lesson.
Alright, so he'll probably take expand, so you're going to expand now.
Yeah, expansion will be going up, and then I'll be getting my economy going. Or my production, rather.
So were there anything specifically you were looking for when you scouted there? Just, for viewers.
SCV ready.
After.
Okay.
SCV ready.
You're checking where the chrono boost is being spent, what units he has, number of gases. That's pretty much everything.
Okay.
Additional supply depots required.
Okay, so you have a Reaper out.
Our SCVs are under attack.
SCV ready.
Also, one of the things I've noticed playing against Protoss is anytime you don't see that the cybernetics core being chrono boosted, and you only see the gateway being produced, that makes me think that they're not doing some kind of fast expand build, because generally when they have a fast expand, they're going to want that warp gate up as soon as possible. So anytime I see that, I usually will throw down like an extra bunker just to be safe, or make sure I get another scout in quickly.
Right. Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
good tip.
I saw the 3 gates. The only thing about that logic that I find questionable is that if they're doing like a 3 or 4 gate, then they're going to be chrono boosting the core. Which, if you're going by the fact that if they by that logic, 4 gate and fast expand both like look the same.
Yeah,
Upgrade complete.
I don't know. It's kind of
true.
weird.
I think it's more just like if they have hundreds of energy, not hundreds, but if they have like 50 or more, then you just have to keep in mind that it could be a 4 gate. And
Yeah.
if it's a little bit lower, then it's more likely to be an expand.
SCV ready.
Yeah, it's interesting that's like those type of exact numbers versus just generally looking, you know what I mean? I think the most... Oh, there
Yeah.
we go.
Well, I mean,
Big push here.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Research complete.
SCV ready.
It's okay.
yeah, I think this is actually a mistake, him coming into your base.
Yeah, he's kind of trapped there. Percussive shell too. The zealots are pretty much...
SCV ready.
Yeah,
Or
that's
not.
really good micro as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Want a piece of me, boy? Come on.
So yeah, I mean, he's not going to lose any SCVs. He knows that it was a 3-gate at least, so he knows that he's in a really good position now. So all in all, that was really good for Kevin.
SCV ready.
I'm trying to find that pylon.
SCV ready.
There's got to be a pylon near my base somewhere for that push to work.
SCV ready.
Additional supply depots required.
SCV ready.
Wow, that's...
Oh, and he let him go. Marauder, that's pretty funny.
I was hoping he would use the force fields. Even if I lose the Marauder, I think it's fine. Because I knew he had to put down 2 or 3 to trap it.
I mean, the fact that he used those forces, I mean, does that pretty much tell you that he can't attack until at least they recharge?
Yeah.
Sentries? Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, he saw that. I mean, the Protoss was only on 1 gas when he scouted. So I mean, 3 sentries wasting their energy. He knows that, you know, there's likely not any more sentries coming. So
Right.
feels pretty good now.
SCV ready. Ghost reporting.
I'm going to ask you this. You went for 4 barracks this game. Was there something that prompted that besides the 3-gate, or were you
No,
like
this
looking
is
at?
this is how I do this expand.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I found if you only go with 3 barracks, you're vulnerable to certain timings.
SCV ready.
So I get the fast 4 barracks, and then that keeps me safe against things like a 3-gate and also like Void Ray.
Okay. Yeah, and with a double reactor, you have enough Marines to deal with pretty much anything.
Right.
SCV ready.
That's the intent, at least.
Okay, so you're going to pressure a little bit here of that scouting marine.
We'll just see what's going on.
Nice. Got a good look there.
Yeah, I actually like that QXC actually checked to the left. A lot of people would just, you know, see those few units right there and just stem right in and then get crushed.
Yeah, it's because I knew he had sentries from earlier.
Pretty good force fields there.
Stupid ghost.
SCV ready. This better be good. Let's have a blast.
Oh wow, I never started a
SCV ready.
upgrade.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that was a little bit of an overcommitment by QXC, but I guess the small plus side of that is that he did force more sentries to be warped in, so not having, you know, Vikings out or anything like that, he doesn't have to worry about, you know, a fast Colossus push or anything like that because he did force all that gas.
SCV
So
ready.
that's a small victory, I suppose.
Ready for dust off.
Yeah, I mean, even though I lost my army, I felt like it did decent damage. Probably came out, like you said, a little behind, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And I saved one of my ghosts, which is nice.
Alright, building more barracks. And right now, okay, it looks like you're moving out again, huh?
Yeah, I really like attacking.
Yeah, it's good. It's cool. Just that constant
Ready for
pressure,
dust
man.
off.
It's definitely...
Oh, I never blew up the
Additional
rocks. I
supply
thought I just did
depots
that.
required.
we were really close.
Damn.
Oh, you're actually halfway there.
Go, go, go. This better be good. SCV ready.
I feel like at this point in the game, you should probably just be like checking for a third and then just playing passive.
I
In these
actually
positions.
just want to go kill him.
Oh,
Alright, I win.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Ready
he's
for
got
dust
2 more,
off.
though. Oh, man. He's kind of... Nice pickup.
Upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted.
SCV ready. Gangway coming through.
Add-on complete.
We can use some help here. It's go time.
Okay, running all the way back. Got plenty there to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, now that the Protoss has no tech units, this Bio Ball pretty much cannot die with that many medevacs.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Ghost reporting.
See that?
Add-on complete.
Go, go, go!
Ready for dust off.
Any advantages to doing like a Doom drop in their base right now versus attacking up the
Upgrade
front?
complete.
I don't think it's worth it for him to risk throwing the game like that.
Ghost reporting.
Because I mean, he knows he's on Templar tech. All these medevacs are high energy, so I mean, if it gets spotted, like his whole army can just instantly blow up in the blink of an eye. But I feel like he's probably in like a pretty big advantage right now, so there's no reason to take a risk like that to win. At least that's my opinion.
I really like taking unnecessary risks. Are you ready
Living
for
life
this?
on the edge.
Okay, let's see it. Here's the showman here. Let's see it.
Oh shit, I don't have...
There you go. You got this.
Wow, that was a money EMP.
Yes, exactly.
Don't worry about it. He's so distracted.
That's what I was thinking. It's just like, I mean, you got him in a choke here too. Look at that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a storm now. Shoot. Oh, good spread though. Not quite enough though.
That's pretty exciting.
I think we should make it clear to everyone that you probably wouldn't have done that in a real game.
Yeah,
You're just trying
exactly.
to-
Exactly.
Upgrade complete.
Don't do this at home, folks.
Go tell all their friends
Oh,
about
man.
this crazy guy, QXC.
It's like I learned this from QXC last night.
No.
It's like everybody's doom
Not
dropping.
value his army's lives.
Exactly.
Mineral field depleted.
Armed and ready.
Okay, so got your fourth now, and
Oh yeah, what up, Observer? My spidey sense. Oh, looks like he's moving out. This is a perfect time to doom drop.
You should EMP all your medevacs to be safe.
Nope. Not doing it.
Upgrade complete.
ah, he's got.
Oh my god.
It's okay, I think you got one of the empty ones.
Man, I never thought about EMP. Actually, I thought you were being sarcastic there.
I was.
Where I got this.
Complete.
He's actually coming back. I guess base trading is never a good idea for
I'm just
Protoss.
scared. Only real men base trade.
Real men with flying buildings.
Yeah. Check this out. It's gonna be so sick.
Go, go, go!
Oh yeah. He's like, oh, he wouldn't try and do that shit again. That'd be stupid. Yeah, whatever.
Except for you just scanned there.
I'm so dumb.
Okay. Oh, Walking Immortal.
Oh shit.
Base is
Uh.
under SCV
Don't worry
under
about that.
attack.
It's fine.
Ready for dust off.
I just
Base is
turned
under
on
attack.
Caliber's vision. It's pretty funny what's going on.
Where'd that army come from? Your army, I mean.
Don't worry about it. I got this.
Yeah. Well, he's getting gutted.
Upgrade.
Look at those.
Like two immortals with like 2 health.
Suck it.
An Immortal can't kill a Marine with a medevac. Oh, there you go.
No, what you guys haven't seen is, like, since this game is obviously over, he blocked his third with a pylon. Like, he couldn't put the Nexus down, so he's just been, like, long distance mining for the past, like, 5 minutes.
What?
Alright, I wanna go see that.
Oh wait,
yeah,
he just killed. He killed it. He killed it.
The Nexus is, like, halfway finished now.
Oh no. Alright, so, okay, it's pretty much over. Should be seeing a GG real soon here, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a GG.
Alright, Caliber's done. Alright, I want to thank him for playing the game, so. Thanks to Caliber from Team Light. Team Light, good team. Okay, alright, well, so we'll have somebody else play here.
I don't even know if I want to play now. I don't think I can top that game. It's pure entertainment.
Throw away units for no reason.
Exactly. And hey, man, we have to have some entertainment tonight, right? Not just pure learning. Here we go. Let's see. We're gonna do the same map. Again, we're for viewers just tuning in. We have QXC and Spades doing some TvP with us tonight.